My other career was, I liked gambling. And I always liked gambling. When I was a kid in high school, all of my friends thought I was the best card player there was. I don't know if I was or not. You know, I had a persona, I guess, or something like that. But I thought, oh, the horse racing, this is going to be easy. I could figure this out, you know. And I'm very good at knowing what I'm dumb at. And I was very dumb at picking horses to start with. So when you're dumb at something and you know it, if you want to learn it, if you could recognize how much an idiot you are, you learn it. So and I did. I studied real hard. I got to be very good at that. So as I was writing my hits, I was making 2 bets a day. I had a Meyer Lansky. I don't know if you know that guy. He was a famous bookie in those days. And, all the mafia guys got arrested and went to jail for a long period of time. But he was my bookie for a while. And I used to think that I'd say they used to pay me every week, or I would pay them. They would come by on a Monday. And I went for like 53 weeks, and I think I paid them twice. They paid me every other time. And I said to the guy, I said, how come you come here with a smile and you give me presents for Christmas and presents for my birthday, and I'm winning all the time? And George said to me, he says, you know, our boss isn't a dumb guy. He says, after the first 3 weeks when you beat our brains out, he said, we lay 10 times as much as you do on the horses you bet out at the racetrack. He says, you're our biggest income. So anyway, so I did that for a long time, and I kept making bets every time when I was writing the hits. I wrote bet 2 horses a day usually, and went to the casinos. I was a card counter, and I finally got banned from all the casinos in Atlantic City. So I had this thing. I knew I could make a living, you know, if all things failed, you know, I knew I could do that. But I wanted music badly, and but then it was 50%. I guess it was 60% music, 40% gambling, and then finally it got to be close to 50-50, and then by the end of the 70s, it was like 85% gambling. And finally I said, oh, the hell with this, and I just gave up music entirely, and off I went. And I gambled for many years. But the reason I was a gambler, I was thinking back, say, why the hell were you a gambler? Well, I remember my father he inducted me into the gambling circle at an early age. So I wrote a song about that. I live the life of a gambler. That's my shame. 3 nights a week I play gin rummy in a big Mount Vernon game, where money fills the pockets the six fools looking for fame. And I take more than I give most nights, and Elmer is my name. That was my father, Elmer. I live the life of a gambler. What's it to you? Otherwise I'm FBI, but I don't let that show through. Let's hold it right there with her. My father did tell us at an early age, told me at 6 years old, that he was an FBI agent. That golf was just a phony little thing that he did. And he used to tell us stories every night. So me and my brothers, we stayed in one room, and Dad used to come in, lay in one bed or the other, and tell us stories about the episode of the previous night. Like he was down on the docks after we went to sleep catching some smugglers. You know? But he made us swear to secrecy that we would never tell anybody. So, and it was ingrained in me that my father was really an FBI agent. And I went to high school, my first year of high school, and I'm talking to a new kid that I just met. Can you imagine this? 12 years old. I'm going to high school, and this kid, Willie Wetzel, comes to me. He says, by the way, what does your father do for a living? And I said, Willie, well, people think he's a golfer. Then all of a sudden, a light bulb went off in my head. I said, he's a golf pro, my father. That son of a bitch. He lied to me all those years. Otherwise, I'm FBI, but I don't let that show through. I was raised by one tough woman that kept a coal mine tame. That's true. And take more than I give most nights, and Elmer is the name. We'd go to the 5-chord boys in a 1, 2, 3, and make believe I'm daddy when the cards hit that blue. And daddy turns and shows them to me. He says, son, what would Lubitsch do? He used to say that all the time. I never knew who the hell Lubitsch was. He used to say every time he's playing cards, he'd pick a card and say, what would Lubitsch do, boy? You know, Lubitsch happened to be a film director in the 40s. I found out later. Then he pulls one and he whistles, and he smiles at his choice. And he turns aside and winks at me and says, that's it, I'm gin, boys. I live the life of a gambler, that's my shame. 3 nights a week my daddy babysits me at a big gin rummy game. But at 8 a.m. I'll join Miss Tracy in my 3rd grade grammar school. But I learned my mathematics, gin rummy rules.